Giovanni, how important is it not only to win this weekend, but put on a performance in front of the fans at Ibrox?
Well, that's very important. Of course, after the drop points last week at home against Livingston, we need to win these games, and the most important thing is to get the 3 points. Of course, you always want a positive result with a positive display. So that's what we are going to try to do tomorrow.
Do you accept that performance against Livingston, plus some of the recent performances and results, maybe added more pressure to the team and to yourself?
Well, I mean, last week, we didn't start well, conceded an early goal, and after that, we're dominating. I think we had many crosses, but in the end, we only scored after they had a sending off. We had and also a big chance to even win the game, but in the end, with all the possession we had in their box, we didn't make too many big chances to score.
How key is that going to be, that patience in this game, where maybe fans might be a bit disgruntled recently, but this is going to be a huge game that you need that backing?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's as I said before, it's the way we start. We have to start positive, on the front foot, and that also will get the reaction of the fans. That's a normal dynamic you have in the games, and you don't want to start the way we started last week, because then, of course, the fans will be almost against you. In a way of that they're not agreeing what happens on the pitch. So that's why we have to start well, organized, with energy, with creating chances, positive thinking forwards, and be aggressive. And that's how we need to start tomorrow.
What do you think's gone wrong for you over the last few weeks?
Well, I mean, you can. I think it's not only one thing. Every game is different. Last week we conceded a goal within 5 minutes, which made it difficult after that. Although we had the ball a lot, we didn't create any big chances. So in that game last week, we need to improve that. And of course, in Champions League is different. I think on last Wednesday, we conceded 2 early goals. I think we reacted really well, and the character, and tried to get back into the game with creating chances. I think the most chances we created in the Champions League so far. But in the end, couldn't get the goal, which took us back in the game, and conceded a late set piece. So every game is different, but tomorrow is another opportunity to start well and to get the 3 points.
You've spoken a lot about particularly in Europe and the gulf between finances and the quality of players at disposal for Napoli, Liverpool, etc. And it's right, that is a correct analogy. But can you also use that analogy in Scottish football? For example, your budget would probably, or Aberdeen's budget would probably be 15-20% of what Rangers' budget would be. So Rangers should be the dominant factor against clubs like Aberdeen.
You're right.
Is that
well, I mean, it's not always the case. I think in Champions League we competed well against the big teams in spells of the game. But in overall thinking, it's also the players are from a higher quality. If you see the squad we had. A lot of players who are not even used to playing 2 times a week. So that's also a factor we have to take into account. But yes, of course, we need to win tomorrow. If you see we're playing at home, the difference you said in budget, we are, normally you win this game, but, normally doesn't happen always in football. And last year, I remember we draw away, our first draw since I arrived here. Even early in the season, we're 2-0 behind at home and eventually draw 2-2. And the home game we had after that, we scored in the last 10 minutes of the game. So it's always quite even games, but we are here tomorrow to win this game, and that's what we want to do, and that's what we need.
Finally for me, then, looking ahead, the January transfer window opens in 8 weeks' time. How far down the road are you with potential new players coming in? And have you identified players?
Well, as I said before, we are missing a lot of players now who are injured. So hopefully we can welcome some injured players back by the time the window's open. So, we have to be ready whatever happens. But it also depends how many players we have back from injury.
How do you boost morale, Gio, between European games and domestic games?
Well, it's difficult because of course, as I said already many times before, we know the difference in level. We know the competition we are facing, but a loss is still a loss. So that's something we had that feeling 5 times now in this competition. And we have to react now. Also after the drop points last week, but the players are ready for it. It's short. 2 days in between. We had a long trip home yesterday, so the most important thing is we are mentally fresh tomorrow, and I think we are.
How is your squad for the game?
Yeah, we're okay. We have we have all players available who were also available in the games against Napoli, so that's good. And of course we have Charlie, McCann able to come in the squad again because he's not in the European squad, and Kamar also wasn't involved on Wednesday, but he picked up another injury, so we won't have him for a couple of weeks.
Is that the same injury,
It's same area, but different injury. Yeah.
You mentioned, Giovanni, the need to win this match and the pressure on the squad. I just wonder how you personally have found this intense scrutiny, especially over the last 2 weeks. How have you found that and dealt with that?
Well, I mean, it's something I always felt throughout my career. The pressure to perform, the pressure to every game reach your standard. I had it as a player. I have the same as a coach. And of course you feel the pressure, but the most pressure I feel is the pressure I put myself on, and that's something I'm used to, and gives me strength and energy to keep going forward, and that's the only thing I can do.
James Tavernier, after the Napoli game, came out back to wholeheartedly said the whole dressing room is behind you and your ideas. I just wonder if you've had any similar discussions with the board about reassurances or what about your position?
No, not. I didn't have any. Of course, I have discussions with the board and with Russ, but my future and my position at the moment was never discussed. No.
Just finally for me, Yilmaz was a player who seemed to impress in Italy. Is he someone who now maybe merits a full run in the team at a regularity to see what he's about with?
Yeah, well, I said already before, the difference between his performance, his levels is much better than when he came, and I think it's for all of us to see, especially for me. And it's good that he's at this moment and the level we needed. And as you said, he had good performances the games he played the last couple of weeks. So I'm really happy with him. With the moment he's in, and also the contribution he gives to the team.
Aberdeen are making noises that you're vulnerable and they want to get the crowd against you and that type of thing. Do you have a message for them?
I have a message. I prepare my team. The message is for us to how we play the game. That's the only message we have to send to our opponents, and of course they will prepare the game in their own perspective. My only perspective is that we are ready for tomorrow, and we'll have a good performance to get the 3 points, and I'm sure the crowd will be behind us from the first minute, and that's what we need at the moment. We are stronger together, and of course it's also influenced by our performances, but I'm confident that tomorrow it's going to be a positive day for all of us.
Just on Kamar, how
frustrating is that he's out again, because he's obviously not really played any football this season at all. Is it an option?
It's first it's very frustrating for Kamar. He has a history of injuries the moment he came to this club, not only with me but also previously. So that's for me the most frustrating is for Kamar himself, because he works hard. He's trying every time to come back, and whenever he's back, it's always a setback, within a couple of weeks, and that's very frustrating for him.
Good afternoon, Giovanni. A number of supporters are saying that the players don't look as fit as what they did last season. Is that a fair assessment? And what do you put that down to?
Well, I think we didn't change any training. We're still in a very hectic schedule. I think the Champions League schedule is more intensive than when we were in Europa League, because of the days. We have now already a couple of weeks when we only have 2 days in between to rest, and in Europe it's 3 or 4, so that makes it quite hectic. Also, the dance program, because of the World Cup, I think is influencing a lot. It's look at everywhere in Europe, there are so many injuries, more than we used to, and so I think it's also the demanding schedule. And we just have to keep continuing. We have a lot of injuries with impact, instead of muscles. So that's also a difference. But yeah, I mean it's a tough schedule for all of us, but we have to keep going.
Yeah, actually, right. Just with that last question in mind, with the schedule, what's going to start after World Cup and into January? What does that mean for training grounds and what you can do with that extra time that's what you're going to have with the players? What would you like to see off the back of that, with the more time with the players on the training pitch in January?
Well, we're going to use it to first to recover from the hectic schedule, and second, we have more time on the training pitch, so which is good. So we can have put more time in training our tactics, and also it gives us 5 weeks extra to hopefully get some players back.